Om. Namo Namah. Learning Sanskrit by verses. Verse number 72. Bhuribhir bharibhir bhira. Your co-student S.L. Abhyankar. This verse is said to be from Shishupal Vadha by Mahakavihi Magha. Though I got it in a book, The Wonder That is Sanskrit, by Mr. Sampath and Mr. Vijay of Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry. One cannot miss the specialty of this verse, that the letters in the verse are from only two consonants, bh and r. Bhuribhir bharibhir bhira bhubharairabhire bhire bherirevibhirabhrabhairabhir abhiru bhiribhairibha. Padacheda. By my understanding, the Padacheda would be Bhuribhihi, Bharibhihi, Bhihi, Abhubharaihi, Abhirebhire, Bherirebhibihi, Abhrabhaihi, Abhirubhihi, Ibhaihi, Ibhaha. By syntax, Anvaya. Bhuribhihi, Bharibhihi, Abhubharaihi, Bherirebhibihi, Abhrabhaihi, Abhirubhihi, Ibhaihi, Ibhaha, Bhihi, Abhirebhire. Padabhyasa. The words Bhuribhihi, Bharibhihi, Abhubharaihi, Bherirebhibihi, Abhrabhaihi, Abhirubhihi, Ibhaihi are all in Tritiya Bahuvachanam and are adjectively related to each other. Bhuribhihi, Bhuri, adjective, Bhu, Krin, Unadi 4.65, much, abundant, numerous, copious. Bharibhi, Bharin, adjective, bearing or carrying a load. Heavy, a burden carrier, porter. Abhubharaihi, Abhuhu bharaha yesham taihi. Those who exert their weight across the globe. Bheri rebhibhi, bheriyaha iva rebhaha yesham taihi. Those who have sound like that of a kettle drum. Note, bherihi, bheri, feminine, a kettle drum, and rebha, crackling, sounding loudly. Abhrabhaihi, abhrasyaiva abha yesham taihi. Those who have looks or appearance as of a cloud. Note, abhram, abhra, ach, but more correctly, abhru, apo vibharti, bhru, ka, abhram, abharanat, niruktam, being filled with water. A cloud. Agnirvai dhumo jayate, dhumat abhramabhrat brushtihi. Agnirvai dhumo jayate, dhumat abhrat brushtihi. This is from Shatpath Brahman. Abhram va apam bhasma, dhumo bhutva abhram bhavati, abhram bhutva megho bhavati, megho bhutva pravarshati. This is from Chandogya Upanishad. These quotations show the conception of the ancient rishis about the formation of clouds. Abha, bha ang, light, splendor, luster. Tatra taradhivasya taranam bha tathaiva cha tayorabharanam bha cha jvalita dhyama bhasayat. This is from Ramayana. Deepabham shalabha yatha. This is from another reference. color, appearance, beauty. Prashantamiva Shuddhabham. This is from Manusmriti. Likeness, resemblance. Often at the end of a compound in these two senses. Abhirubhihi. न भीरुः इति अभीरुः तैः तृतीया बहुवचन. नोट भीरु एडजेक्टिव, भीरु और भीरु फेमिनिन. भी कृ. सी रेफरेंस पाणिनि 3-2-174. timid, cowardly, fearful. Note the Panini Sutram 3.2.174. Bhiyah kruk klukonau, that is bhi takes suffixes kru kluk. In Siddhanta Kaumudi bhiruhu, bhilukaha, krukannapi vaktavyaha, bhirukaha. All mean timid, cowardly, fearful. Bhiruhu, bhilukaha, bhirukaha. Ibhaihi तथा इभाह. Both words are from इभाह. I bhan किच्च उनादि 3.151. An elephant. Fearless power. Bhi. Here bhi स्त्रीलिंगम द्वितीया बहुवचनम. Fear, dread, alarm, fright, terror. Abhi, fearless. Abhire bhire. Note rebhire is lit lakaraha atmanepadam prathama purushaha bahuvachanam of rab, rabha, rabhasye, to be happy, to be glad. Bhadihi prathamaganiyah atmanepadi sakarmakaha anit. And here abhire bhire is by the prefix abhi, upasargaha abhi, affixed to re bhire. Anvayartha. Overall meaning. In the book The Wonder That Is Sanskrit, the meaning given is the fearless elephant who was like a burden to the earth because of his heavy weight, whose sound was like a kettle drum and was like a dark cloud, attacked the enemy elephant. From our padabhyasa, by bhuribhihi bharibhihi, very heavy, bhuribhihi bharibhihi, very heavy, abhubharaihi, exerting weight across the earth, bherirebhibhihi, blowing sound as of a kettle drum, abhrabhaihi, looking like a cloud, abhirubhihi, fearless, ibhaihi, elephants, ibhaha, these elephants, bhihi, fierce, abhire bhire, thoroughly enjoyed. So these elephants thoroughly enjoyed inflicting fears unto those elephants who were as such very heavy, exerting weight across the earth, blowing sound as of a kettle drum, looking like a cloud, also supposedly fearless. Chando Vishleshan. Bhuribhirbharibhirbhira Ashtaksharan. Ribhirbhi etesham matraha eka dve dve. Bhubharairabhirebhire Ashtaksharani. Bhirebhi etesham matraha eka dve eka. भेरीरेभिरभ्राभैर अष्टाक्षराणि. भिरभ्रा एतेषां मात्राः एका द्वे द्वे. अभीरुभिरिभैरिभाः अष्टाक्षराणि. रिभैरि एतेषां मात्राः एका द्वे एका. अनुष्टुप् छन्दः. स्वाध्यायः. Notes of self-study. It seems such poetry is possible only in Sanskrit. It is possible in Sanskrit because of many linguistic specialities of Sanskrit, starting with Sanskrit recognizing meaningfulness of every sound element, varnaha, which I would like to define as dhvanyanshaha, dhvani plus ansha. It may be appreciated that aksharam, a letter, is a set of one or more varnaha. The Sanskrit word for alphabet, alpha, beta, etc., is varnamala. Each element of the varnamala is a varnaha. In English, each element of the alphabet is called as a letter, usually interpreted as aksharam. This is technically wrong. In Sanskrit, varnaha may be a vowel, swaraha, or a consonant, vyanjanam. To do padachhedaha, one needs to have good understanding of not only this distinction between varnaha and aksharam, but also have good understanding of nominal roots and verbal roots and how they are formatted by affixing suffixes, and also how sounds which are close to each other get combined in pronunciation. The process of sounds getting combined in pronunciation when they are close to each other is called as samhita or sandhihi. Doing padachhedaha is identifying the original sounds which got combined and rewriting the words as per the original sounds. The words obtained by padachhedaha should make meaningful sentences. During the previous study of eka shabda samyak jnatas suprayuktas swarge loke cha kamaduk bhavati, it was noted that the meaning of shabdaha as word is too mundane to justify that one word well understood, well applied, becomes wish fulfilling in the heaven and this world. Optionally, meaning of shabdaha as sound can lend far reaching interpretation, especially the sound of music. The interpretation then becomes a sound well understood, well applied, becomes wish fulfilling in heaven and in this world. Here, the study is not even of a shabdaha. The study is of a sound, shabdaha sound, but of varnaha, that is dhvanyanshaha, elemental components of a sound. If a shloka is composed with only two consonants, there is inherently a rhythm of onomatopoeia, shabdalankara, prasaha. By that, it should be easy to recite. But this shloka is tricky than easy because one has to understand the meaning of every varna and recite it in proper sequence. That is, one should practice the padapatha and kramapatha to memorize this shloka. By the way, padapatha and kramapatha are two of the 8 different techniques the sages devised to ensure that the Veda mantraha would be memorized properly. Although the shloka has anushtup chanda, its recitation by padapatha and kramapatha would sound more like the recitation of Veda mantra. May I practice some recitation? Bhuribhir bharibhir bhira bhubharairabhire bhire bheri re bhirabhrabhair abhirubhir bhairibha. Toward the end, there is some jumbling. Again, bhuribhir bharibhir bhira bhubharairabhire bhire re bhire bhirabhrabhair abhiru bhiri bhairibha. Not so easy. What is described in the shloka is how one team of elements frightened the seemingly fearless and but frightful elements of another team. All the words relating to the elephants in the team that was frightened have Tritiya Bahuvachanam. That is interesting grammar. Those that were frightened make the object phrase karma padani and hence should have dvitiya. It seems the Tritiya here is Karanakaraka Tritiya, because the elephants who were frightened became Karanani, the tools of enjoyment for the elements of the victorious team and also for the spectators. With Dvitiya, the word Abhubharaihi would have to be Abhubharan. Other words also would change. By choosing Tritiya, the poet succeeded in restricting the prasaha to only two components, not getting involved into another consonant like n, no. Looks like the poet is describing a sporting event between two teams of elephants. Maybe such sporting event was one of fanfare and frolicking in those times. There seems to be poetic justice in the choice of Dvau two consonants, Bh and R, because there are two opposing sentiments, one of fright, Bh, and another of jubilation, R. In our high school syllabus, we studied writing poetic appreciation. This shloka seems to be a good poetry to practice that. The phrase abhirubhihi bhihi, that is giving fright to the fearless, connotes a figure of speech of contradiction, arthalankaraha, vyatyasaha. May I rest here. Shubhamastu.